afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Hotseat with me, Ron Jacob Unabia, and we are joined by Miss Janine Recopelacion on the other end of the line. And this afternoon, we have a special guest. She is a former UAAP courtside reporter. She is a true blue Atenista, and now she is an anchor for ABS-CBN News Channel. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Miss Denice Dinsay.
Oh, I love it. There's also that effect. Thank you so much for having me, guys.
Thank you for responding to our email. All right, first question for Miss Denise on
Okay, I like it. We're getting down to business again.
this
Straight to
glorious
the point.
Sunday afternoon. Um, First question, Miss Denise, is um, how did you start in the broadcast? Please tell us the story behind your. Uh, was this a childhood dream for you?
Um, so I got started with my broadcast career as a courtside reporter, as you mentioned, for Ateneo for the UAAP. Um, I think, yeah, to an extent, it really was a childhood dream. I think, not naman childhood, more like high school. Because that was when I heard of the UAAP, being a courtside reporter when I was in high school. And it was something, I remember it was something that I would tell my best friends and we'd talk about it pa, like, during our break times, parang, oh, this is really what I want to do in life. And the next thing I knew, also the next thing that they knew, I was like, oh wow, like I was apparently already being the courtside reporter for Ateneo. So until now, when we talk about it, when I'm with them and when we like share those stories, parang wow, like dati pinag-uusapan na natin to during our break, during recess, and then here we are. I'm actually really reporting, really broadcasting. So it's been a surreal until now. I still feel like I'm in a dream sometimes.
How did you end up in the news department of ABS-CBN?
Yeah. Okay. Actually, that's a really good question because people parang got so confused. Now, oh, okay, she was doing sports, and then how did she do news? I was already employed under the ABS-CBN News Channel. I was doing game time with Migs Bustos. So when COVID hit, of course, game time or show, hindi muna, like, they didn't continue it because there was no sports. So what happened was there happened to be a special coverage of COVID, parang tie up yun with DZMM. And by God's grace, I was tapped to do that coverage with, this time around, with Sir Ron Cruz. So after that, tuloy-tuloy na because there was no sports and apparently COVID wasn't going away anytime soon. So I found myself also employed and doing more news broadcasting.
Was the transition from sports to formal news broadcasting difficult for you?
Wait, sorry, can you please repeat that? What?
The transition from being from a courtside reporter in UAAP to being a news anchor in ANC difficult for you?
I think difficult in a sense that it wasn't my passion. In some way, broadcasting is the same in all forms. It really just differs with energy. But the only transition that I found it hard was I didn't want to do news broadcasting in the first place. So, yun yung naging adjustment para sa akin eh. But after that, at the end of the day, I think what I realized was I love being in front of the camera and educating people and reporting, and that's what mattered the most. Uh,
Uh,
Medyo pasintabi muna yung sports.
yeah. How do you prepare for a broadcast? Like, kagaya po ba namin na ano, like nanginginig pa right before the interview, or like, oh, we need to look like this, we need to do this. How do you prepare po?
Um, it really doesn't change, I guess, with doing news broadcasts. What I always say and what they trained us when we were courtside reporters pa was kailangan mo ng quote-unquote baon. For me, you always have to be the most knowledgeable person in the room because you are reporting, whether it be in sports or news. So you're supposed to be learning all of the things that you're reporting beforehand. You have to know what you're talking about because sometimes, I mean, your script can be wrong. So if you're not aware of what's really happening and you're just reading, that could be quite dangerous. So you have to be aware. For the makeup, well, it happens naman before. The jitters, it never goes away. I until now, from my very first courtside until now, every time I go on air, kahit araw-araw na, parang hindi pa rin natatanggal yung nervyos. Like I still shake, I still get nervous every time I have to do an interview. And I think that's always a good thing when you're nervous because you never let your guard down and there's no room for complacency in the industry.
Right. Who are your broadcast idols po and why are you impressed with them? Like, anong meron sa kanila na talagang nakakapagpatibok ng puso mo with the broadcast?
Oh, well, for me, kasi I really like watching international news. So it's my goal. I mean, peg, hindi naman peg, but I really admire Lindsay Davis from ABC News. Just because I love her, I wouldn't say persona, but how she presents herself on camera. Like, she looks gorgeous. But aside from that, how she holds herself when she is reporting the news and how she says it, it's in a friendly manner, but at the same time authoritative, which is hard to balance because normally you hear the broadcasting here in the Philippines, sobrang tapang. So gusto mo ng parang a combination of tapang at the same time maamo rin because you want people to keep listening to you, and she does that so well. And also sometimes the danger with just news reading is your eyes can go a bit blank. So with her eyes, there's so much life to it. I think that's what makes it parang she's really like talking to you. So aside from her, when it comes to interviews, I'm such a big fan of Christiane Amanpour. Um, I love how she delves into topics and she starts from the bottom, I mean, from the shallow surface and then gets deeper and deeper. And how she unfolds the story and how she creates stories is something that I aspire to emulate or to be, I guess, in the future.
Oh,
I guess you have that ability, Miss Denise. You have that gorgeous appearance, beautiful
Oh,
face.
thank you.
Just give them a run for their money.
yeah, and I like you
I
too. I
hope
like, I like,
so.
I like, I like the way you give the story, like how you handle yourself in front of the camera too. Yeah.
Oh, guys, thank you, thank you. It's a work in progress, and it makes it so easy when I'm talking to people who are as friendly and who are as gorgeous as I am right now.
You mentioned earlier, Miss Denise, no, na
Mm-hmm.
uh, news style here in the Philippines is somewhat matapang. Um, in TV broadcast, it is a golden rule, no, na when you deliver the news, you should not show too much emotions. How do you
Yes.
how do you keep that aura, especially when you are reading news items na talaga nakakapagpulo ng dugo, gory news items? How do you keep that deadpan aura as an
Oh my goodness. I think my producers can tell, and also my partner. So of course, you're not always on cam. Sometimes they show snippets of videos or something. So that's when I show my emotion. Like, pag I'm really mad at what the report is. If it's like about, I guess, what's happening in the Philippines. You hear so many scandals, example, like the PhilHealth scandal, and you're just so annoyed at, I guess, the incompetence of how they're dealing with it. And at the same time, pity for the people who are still waiting for justice for it. So it's only when I'm off cam that I show emotion. But on cam, you have to really remember that first and foremost, your job is to deliver the truth. You shouldn't be influencing other people. But the thing is, I think it's a very tricky thing to do because, yeah, while your job is to deliver the truth, you have to make sure that you're delivering the truth. Nowadays, and I can't believe this is actually happening, but misinformation is a thing. And truth has become relative, especially when it comes to journalism, which I'm not a believer of. So know really what you're there for, which is to inform, educate, and again, present the news. And when you keep yourself grounded in those things, I think I wouldn't say it's easier, but it does make it more manageable to contain your emotions.
Yes, I totally agree with what you have stated, Miss Denise. You know, um, other people might say na being a news anchor or a reporter is a lucrative job because harap kayo sa camera. Pero at the end of the day,
Hmm.
these jobs, these professions, not hard.
Exactly. It's a hit or miss. People think it's glamorous, but the thing is, one mistake, really just one mistake, and you're out because your credibility is on the line. The name of the business really is reputation,
And there are
and that's what you take care of the
and
most.
there are many people waiting in line to replace me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think it's a tough industry in a sense that competition is stiff. I mean, there's lots of people who can read the news, and there's also lots of people who look good, and there's lots of people who also deliver. So, I mean, I'm not saying naman na you should cling as much because there will always be someone better than you. But every time you're on air, is you do the best that you can, and you also, more importantly, aside from the on-cam performance, there's also the off-cam. You develop relationships with the people around you. So it's a holistic thing. But again, I'm a firm believer kasi no all industries are holistic. So I'm just saying it, I guess, in the broadcast industry.
I'm quite curious, Miss Denise. No, how do you spend your day off or your week?
My day off. It's really now because of COVID.
Yes.
It's just spending time with my family, watching K dramas, catching up on that.
Who's your
Every now and then. Sorry,
who's your favorite K drama?
who's my favorite K drama? Oh, that's hard
Chloe.
because no, not even because I started with this whole K-pop thing and K-drama phase even before it was a thing because I went to an international school and my best friend was Korean.
Mm.
So parang grade 6 pa lang ako or grade 5. Talagang sinubaybayan ko na yan from like all the K-dramas. So I'm hardcore. I think that's people don't know that as much, but I'm super hardcore when it comes to K-pop and K-dramas.
Yeah, if you are not a news anchor, Miss Denise, what would you be? Would you be a K-pop star or something? Like, would you even did it even hit your head like I want to become an idol or something?
Well, my sister has always actually begged for me to become a K-pop idol. Parang I'm her biggest disappointment kasi she's like, you should have just auditioned to be a K-pop star.
Uy,
but
bakit naman?
because she's also a fan. But realistically, I think I would have gotten into advertising because I did take that course back in college, and that was the way that I was really going for talaga before broadcasting came into place was to do advertising, marketing, PR. Those were things that I really did enjoy.
Mm. So you said your sister wanted you to become a K-pop idol. Saang saang um like
Entertainment.
area po? Like is it singing or dancing or acting? Ang gusto niyang tahakin niyo po.
Actually, parang nakaplano na sa kanya yun eh. Gusto niya sa SM Entertainment ako as a K-pop
Wow.
idol. So, na-plan out na niya. It's just
Wow.
that I said no. But it was like that. She's such a big fan. She keeps repeating na parang, you really should have become a K-pop idol. But I tell her, nope, I love broadcasting. I'm happy.
What was your most embarrassing moment on TV so far? Or meron ba? Or
Most most embarrassing moment. Um, I think really my first reporting in the UAAP, like my first report talaga yung debut ko, just because ang taas ng boses ko nun. And also, I forgot to say back to you. So, hinintay ng anchors na, is she done? Is she waiting? So, I think that really still is the most embarrassing moment of all time. Like, nothing can ever top that. But the rest, kasi, I mean, I still make mistakes. Sometimes I say the words wrong. So, but those things you kind of, one thing I learned as the years pass is you have to learn to shrug those mistakes off, because if you keep focusing on them, it distracts you from being the best, and also from doing your job well, because all you're thinking about is, okay, don't mess up, don't mess up, don't mess up. You're overthinking it. So it's just, well, people make mistakes. You try your best the next time.
Denise,
Right.
sino po ba yung kabatch niyong UAP courtside reporter? Naabutan niyo po ba si Fisher?
Sorry, can you please repeat that?
Yung kabatch niyong UAP courtside? Naabutan niyo
Yeah.
po siya?
See who? I'm so sorry. What?
Fisher Robredo po.
Oh no, she's I'm way after her. So I
Ah,
was courtside reporter for season 79. And ang kabatch ko, well, there were only two of us that were new. It was me and Bea Escudero. So si Bea, she's still in sports, but she's with Signal now.
ah. Miss Denise, you have basketball books behind you.
Oh
Robo.
yeah, okay.
That is a book
Yes,
about Kobe Bryant.
yes.
Okay. What is your
I'm a big fan. Sorry.
favorite NBA team?
Favorite NBA team? Are we talking about currently or all time?
All time.
All time, of course, the Chicago Bulls. I'm a big MJ fan, super. I know you're seeing just Kobe, but up here is puro MJ. Like, went through a phase na all I bought were like MJ books. Studying for courtside for basketball, it was watching MJ videos, and MJ interviews. And when The Last Dance came out, I was crying in the first episode. So it's intense. I love the guy. I love the mentality of Michael Jordan. It's something that I also live up to, or try to live up to in life. Like that competitiveness and trying to just be the best in everything that you do.
I'm a Laker fan myself, but there's a common denominator between the Bulls and the Lakers. Phil Jackson.
Mm-hmm. Sorry.
Phil Jackson. Which Phil Jackson?
Oh, of course. Yeah, I think people, well, I don't know if people do appreciate Phil Jackson, but gosh, the mind of the man, if anything, it makes you appreciate really coaches and the importance of having a good mentor in your life. It's something that you should always be seeking. That the people or the person that you work for is someone that can guide you in life and will be teaching you good lessons, and that good also values, because at the end of the day, while skill goes a very long way, it's character that makes you stay longer than everyone else.
No. Miss Denise, let us go back to news broadcasting. No?
Okay.
What if the top brass of ABS-CBN calls you up, and then
A what? Sorry.
top brass of ABS-CBN calls you and then tells you that you are going to be the lead anchor of something like their flagship program, TV Patron? Would
Hmm.
you accept it?
Of course. There was a time that I wouldn't be the type to say no to those things, just because I always felt that um, I wasn't too experienced or too old to take on those challenges. But if there's one thing that I realize, God gives things and for a reason. And also you have to trust also in the network that, if they give you something, there's something that they're seeing. It's just that you're not seeing it yet. And it's a good challenge that you should take on, and, just try to not get too caught up in it. Just focus on doing your job really the best that you can.
Right.
Uh,
Yeah.
uh, Janine, you
Miss
have a
Miss Miss Denise. You know, this month, Love Month. And February 14 is malapit na. Do you have any plans on February 14? Aside from, of course, going to court, newsroom.
It's really, I always spend my Valentine's with my parents and my family. I think normally I would have spent it with my best friend because we go out
Mm-hmm.
on our like girly dates, but sad COVID.
Wala bang,
Para we check out different restos.
wala bang ano? Wala bang ano dyan?
Ay, wala.
much single.
Yeah, it's family and friends.
Miss Denise, our newspaper, Kanaas, is celebrating our
Yes.
anniversary this year. We are
Yes,
the
10th
longest
anniversary.
running community newspaper in Northern Cebu. So,
That
what is
deserves a longer clapping.
do you have a
Yeah.
message for us, the members of Kanaas?
I guess I would have to say, 10 years is a long time. Like, even going past a year is enough. And to be able to sustain it for a decade, I hope and pray that there may be more decades to come for, of course, the newspaper. And I always found it admirable that you moved and you shifted online. I think that's always a key thing to being able to outlive your competitors is to know when to adjust and when to innovate. And then seeing you guys do that, it's a great thing. The future for broadcast and for journalism in the Philippines remains bright, and you're one of the reasons why. So happy anniversary, guys!
Thank you so much.
Right.
Yay.
So, that's about it, Miss Denise. Thank you very much for spending your Sunday afternoon with us. Truly, truly grateful for the opportunity.
And thank you for having me, guys. It's been a pleasure, and really, I do hope for more years to come for you. And good luck to all your other future interviewers as well. I'm sure they'll have another fantastic time with you guys being the interviewers.
Thank you very much, Miss
Thank you
Denise.
very much.
And
Salamat
also,
po.
Miss Denise Dinsay.
Thank you.
And that is another episode of Hot Seat. And this has been Ron Jacob Unabia.
And Janine Recopelacion. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Thank you po, Miss Denise.
Thank you, guys. Have a blessed Sunday.